All right, let's continue the process. So I'm going to go ahead and look at these things right here. This is actually the serratus anterior. It looks like the ribs, but it's actually some muscles that are connected to the ribs. So to do that, I'm just going to kind of go like this. I'm just going to kind of make a mark here and then kind of fan it down like that. It doesn't look exactly like that, but I feel like this is kind of an easy way to think about it. Okay. Now, once I have those, I'm going to do a line diagonally over like that. Okay. Kind of all of this at the same angle. And you can see how it kind of looks like it's blending into that. And then this is the oblique, which is going to be the whole rest of this. So I'm going to kind of go like this. And I'm going to fan into those existing lines that I did to kind of blend that. And then I'm just going to kind of have this go to the side and just kind of arbitrarily end. I'll take care of that later once I get to the back. And what's nice about this type of mirroring is that I can work on either side of the model, unlike the mirror modifier where I can only work on one side. Okay, excellent. Now, once I've got that, maybe I switch to a different material. I think it's good to occasionally switch to different materials to kind of see it literally in different lighting. And you can see that I occasionally kind of go over even pre-existing muscle that I have just to kind of get a sense of, you know, does it feel right? And get connected to my model there. Okay, cool. So now maybe a little bit with the arms. I always kind of think of the transition points. So the transition points would be the neck, obviously the shoulder, and the legs. And I'm talking about kind of the transition into the torso. So for the arms, we have this kind of hierarchy of the pec muscle, the deltoid, and the bicep here. So the bicep's going to be kind of the lowest muscle. So you might think, well, yeah, it would make sense to sculpt the lowest muscle first, but I feel like the reason that I didn't start with the bicep is because I want kind of more context. I'm starting kind of from the core, from the center, and then kind of building outward. So in this case, I'm just going to kind of sculpt the bicep up like that. And that's kind of literally how the bicep would be, is kind of that tall. And you can find reference of kind of isolated biceps, like online. Or a great book is one called Anatomy for Sculptors. Okay, awesome. So there we go. Now once I have that, now that obviously doesn't look right. So now what I'm going to do is now bring the pec over it by now re-sculpting the pec. Like this. And then I'm going to bring the deltoid over all of that. And there we can kind of start to see how we have that transition. And we can see how different this stage feels than the last stage, right? I feel like the last stage felt very technical. This is feeling very artistic. And with this stage, you need to really have a good reference. You really have to understand what you're doing as far as what you want to achieve, because every stroke is going to, you know, there's so many possibilities that you could do. Slight adjustments can make a big deal visually, so just kind of be careful with that. And it might not look like exactly what you want in the beginning, but again, be patient with this process. Patient with the process, and it'll start to come together. So you can see that I'm starting to get two transition points, you know, the neck and the arm. I can hold down Shift for smoothing. I might think, well, Dave, why don't you want, you know, smoothing on right away? I feel like I even like these striation lines right now, just to get a sense of kind of the flow of the muscle. So I'm just going to kind of leave that on there and really start to understand what I have here. Now I feel like what I might do is, if I go like that, you can see I can view the back at any time. So I'm just going to kind of hit the back here. And if I rotate this around, a good way to start the back is I'm going to find this line kind of coming straight across here like that. And this is the lat. So I'm just going to kind of go like that. And again, this is going to kind of go up into the armpit area. And I'm going to kind of make so it kind of looks like a diamond right here. There we go. And then again, just kind of and this, what's nice about this is that it'll kind of give us the edging for this oblique here. Okay, excellent. Now, I think I'm going to also find the scapula. So the scapula is going to be that bone, basically the shoulder bone. So it's kind of like from here, kind of down here like that. I feel like I can kind of see a rough idea of it right there. And if I'm confident that I know where the scapula is, then I feel like I'll know where the trapezius is. So this kind of trapezoidal muscle here, because it's going to connect to the top of the scapula, and then it's going to kind of come down here like that. It's also going to connect up here to the cranium, and it's going to come actually around this way, and it's going to connect to this side, right to where that shoulder, the deltoid, is connecting. And I'm going to bring this up and around like this. Okay, so that's kind of interesting that I actually kind of have to start spinning around. And we'll see on males especially, you'll kind of see a little bit of that from the front, actually, even though it's a muscle on the back. So the trapezius is really an interesting muscle. And I'm going to kind of go like this. You can find that center line. It's going to form kind of a diamond right there. So now I'm going to kind of go from the, there we go, and then kind of fan up as well. Okay, excellent. So now we can start to see getting hints of that. We might also see the lat, so this muscle here. We might see hints of that from the front, and you can kind of see right there. So again, if your character is looking too feminine, and you're not sure why, I feel like there's some things that you can do that kind of like help make it look a little bit more masculine, and vice versa. And I think kind of how much these back muscles can be seen from the front, I feel like can kind of help make it look more masculine or feminine, depending on if they're shown or hidden. It's not to say that on a female you couldn't see this. I mean, I feel like obviously the more muscular they are, but I feel like, and same with the male, you might not see some of this depending on how skinny they are, but you're just kind of talking kind of in generalities here. Okay, good. So we've got some good stuff. All right, starting to kind of take shape here a little bit. We'll continue more in the next lesson.